Hello, Green Chatters. Welcome to another episode here on the Green Living Chats podcast. My name is David Ewusi-Mensah, and I'm your host on this podcast. We told you that this season is full of surprises, and today we are unpacking one of them. In today's episode, we are reflecting on the answer to the question, if you had the chance to change one thing about human behavior towards the environment, what would you change? In our new segment, GLC ASK. You can join this conversation by sending us a short voice recording to this and you will be featured in the next segment. Or join the conversation on our social media platforms, email details and links in the show notes. This is the Green Living Chat podcast. Here, we define sustainability, educate and discuss feasible solutions to achieve a regenerative ecosystem. In a world where sustainability has become a cliche and misused in practice, we bring you inspiring stories from the industry, research and development, and all stakeholders in between. And together, we can promote the sustainability agenda across the globe. This podcast is proudly produced and sponsored by our team at Eco Amit Solutions in Ghana. We come your way with new episodes this and every Sunday at 6 p.m. GMT. So dear Green Chatters, let's get started. Well, first was Joanna Beham, who is the CEO and founder of Footprints Africa. In our conversation, Africa's circular economy.
It's interesting because even when the question is human behavior towards the environment separates humans from the environment, and we're not, we're part of it. So I think the important thing is to see ourselves as part of the environment. I suspect the one thing I would change would be to create more reverence for nature. I was looking at a Mayan culture recently, and they would kind of ask for forgiveness or ask for permission before they would go hunting and before they would kill an animal to show reverence for that animal's life. And similarly, there are some cultures where they would do the same for like cutting the bough of a tree beforehand. They would ask for permission or ask for forgiveness from sort of a greater power and sort of revere that tree and the life within that tree. So I think if we took that kind of attitude towards resources and towards natural resources, I think it would quite radically change the way that we interacted with the environment.
Dr. Takunda Chitaka, who is a postdoctoral research fellow at the University of Western Cape, told us that
they need to think twice. You know, a lot of times you just do things mechanically, like you will just drop a piece of litter mechanically, or you will, burn a pile of rubbish mechanically. But then take the time to think twice about what is the impact on your environment. Because it's not just the environment, it's your environment that you're impacting. So before you do something, just think twice. Is this beneficial for my environment, or am I harming my environment?
Now, diving into our episode which discussed the fashion industry, Olga Johnson-Antonova from Russia told us that.
Still, I would go back to somewhere in the beginning of our conversation where I said, I think check everything you do, all of your actions and even thoughts, bring them to this filter about beauty, truth and goodness. Am I contributing to creating more beauty, truth and goodness? Am I a beautiful person in terms of how I behave, what I do in business and outside, in my private sphere, with myself even? Am I beautiful? Am I honest? Am I creating goodness? What am I here for? Because simplicity is also key. And am I living and working in a kind of simple way? And for me, the easiest to achieve that simplicity is to check by these eternal values, beauty, truth, and goodness. And then I think everything is perfect and super sustainable.
Now, the founder of My Clean Beach initiative in Indonesia, Jiva Seminathan, also said that
People just need to be socially sensitive, and that's a tough job. But it is our hope with My Clean Beach that we can instill that change in people. So if there's one thing, if you ask, we want to continuously instill that value, and that is our hope with My Clean Beach. I just want to say thank you to my team who's aligned with the same thoughts, who just continuously wants to instill, because we may not be able to change the world, but if we can change a handful of people, they are the ones who's going to populate. So we need those people. Yeah.
Now let's dive into an interesting answer Jason Dubel, who is the CEO and founder of Boomerang Water, who is changing the single-use narrative.
One, here's the thing. I'm hopeful in human behavior, right? What I wish there was, if I did have a wish, I wish, I just wish there was a cost to destroying the environment. And it reflected in the cost of the product. Yes, a financial cost to that product. And I think that would change everybody's mind, right? And I think that's the difficulty. I believe in our race. I believe in our species. I believe that everybody wants to do good. I just think it's circumstantial in a lot of situations where, again, people are shopping for the cheapest item. It's just not the cheapest for the environment. So if there could be a change, I just wish we'd wake up and realize that there is a cost of polluting this planet. If that hook hit us in a pocketbook, I think immediately we would see, again, crisis change very, very quickly.
Mr. Baf Che Frimpong, the CEO of Baf Organic Farm and Agrotech, also shared his view on this topic.
You see, change it's just a word, but then it's deeper. What I think is, look within yourself. You love yourself. If you love yourself, you love your surroundings, because you are responsible for your surroundings. Your surroundings are responsible for you, right? So I think people are looking more at the outer rather than inner, right? And the joy, not the happiness. You get happiness from the outer, but the joy of doing these things, right, is priceless. But if you want to look outer, then you're missing a lot. Because if you don't start looking at your inner, it will end up taking over you, and it may be too late. You throw things on the ground, it creates mosquitoes, it chokes the bladders. And the mosquitoes bite you, you get malaria, you die. But you don't realize when you're throwing things out. You get it? So it's just, the world is like a dependence on each other and a system that you cannot just lay unconcerned on, and think things will just work. We all have a part to play in the, in the ecosystem, in the environmental, in humanity, and life to make it better. You don't just say, it's not the money, it's your effort, your concern, and your joy of doing it. You get it? It's what we all need to think about. Renewal of our mind to see that nature is what keeps us, and we have to keep it.
Now, in our recent episode on placing value on biodiversity, Shana Gavaran also said that
to value all life, and I'm not talking about the monetary value. I'm talking about the deeper emotional value of all life. That's, to me, the key thing is not to be selective, not to be biased and say, oh, this is more valuable than that, because everything is here for a reason, and essentially we are not here to judge what that reason is. So therefore, I think that's the key, is to value the fact that everything's here for a purpose, and to reach that point of sustainability, we have to accept that and basically support each and every being that's here.
Now, note that details of all these episodes are available on all podcast platforms on Green Living Chat Podcast, or visit our website. We can't wait to hear your thoughts on your views on this question. So let's get interactive on our social media platforms. Details also in the show notes. See you on the next episode. Hey there. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this episode. Now there is a call to action. So why don't you engage with our community of green charters on our social media platforms? Find more details and links in the show notes. Get involved with the podcast by emailing us at glcpodcast@echoamitsolutions.com or DM via social media platforms. We cannot do the same things expecting different results. The urgency of climate change demands actions now and not in 2050. So, dear Green Chatters, see you on the next episode, and remember, live green.